start with how offensive it is to say that I am a witting or unwitting asset of a foreign country, working against the interests of our people and our country, the country that I am willing to lay my life down for. So if you're saying it's not deliberately, then you are implying that I am too stupid and too naive and lack the intelligence to know what I am doing. That is extremely offensive to me and to every woman of color.
The narrative was turned on its head the moment Tulsi Gabbard stepped onto The View. What started out as an ordinary panel discussion swiftly transformed into one of the most embarrassing, and surprisingly funny, moments on daytime television. Tulsi quietly destroyed the hosts' arguments one by one, leaving them dumbfounded. Rather than a discussion, it was more like seeing a peaceful chess play while the participants battled about the rules. Everyone who enjoys a good dose of reality or is interested in politics will find something to like in this.
Let's straighten a couple of things out. I've never said, and I don't think Hillary Clinton thinks that you're a witting asset. You might be an unwitting asset. Not that that means you're stupid, but people can be used.
That's exactly what it means, though. That's exactly what it means.
The other thing that confuses me, wait, I have one more question. You're on state TV all the time. Why do you go on Fox TV? Fox Channel, which is a propaganda network, 16 times with Tucker Carlson. I never see you with Chris Wallace or that other guy, what's his name, Brett Baer. Well, why aren't you on with them? They're definitely middle of the road. Why do you go on with Tucker?
Right now, imagine 4 boisterous characters sit around a table on The View, and they act like seasoned analysts as they throw around half-baked thoughts. An unhealthy dose of groupthink, loud music, and dramatic intensity are the show's bread and butter. Everyone gets to offer their opinion, just as long as it sounds like everyone else's and lines neatly with one political party. This isn't really about having an open dialogue. Let's be honest, the right opinions tend to be somewhat biased, and this is all about reiterating them.
Also a Russian asset.
So really? I mean, this is outrageous. This is outrageous and offensive on so many levels. I've served as a member of Congress now for almost 7 years, receiving high-level national security and intelligence briefings, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, working to ensure the safety and security of the people of this country. This is why I'm running for president, to continue that commitment of service. It's offensive to me as a soldier, as an American, as a member of Congress, as a veteran, and frankly, as
But this time, something strange occurred. Tulsi Gabbard walked in, and instead of playing along, she disputed the whole structure. This wasn't your average guest segment, it was a shake-up. She questioned their assumptions, pushed back on the usual talking points, and presented a calm, rational presence that left the hosts clearly unnerved. Normally swift with their comebacks, the panelists now appeared uncertain of themselves. It was one of those rare instances when the show's typical pace was entirely thrown off.
Because I think everyone has sort of missed something.
What are we missing?
Well, I think what you're missing is that that asset had nothing to do with Tulsi. She was talking about Jill's time.
Actually, her spokesperson confirmed it.
I'm not making it.
They called you a Russian doll.
Her spokesperson confirmed it because some of the media followed up and asked for her spokesperson to say what she meant and confirmed that they were talking about me. So there was no mistaking that.
Right. Okay. Well,
If you're not acquainted with Tulsi Gabbard, she's a former lawmaker who made news for stepping away from the Democratic Party, stating she was weary of political games. She's recognized for her independent thinking and inability to follow party lines merely for the sake of it. Think of her as the one buddy who doesn't follow the pack, doesn't care about trends, and surely doesn't regard The View like it's a serious political platform.
About why I go on Fox News.
yeah.
I go on Tucker Carlson, go on Brett Baer, go on Sean Hannity, go on MSNBC, go on CNN. I am here to speak to every single American in this country about the unifying leadership that I want to bring as president. Not just speak to those who agree with me,
Nice to think that
but
can happen.
to speak with those who may disagree with me, recognizing that I'm asking for the opportunity to serve every single person in this country. We have to come together
Joy, you
for
just
our
want
country
Fox.
and our country.
When Tulsi went onto the stage, the presenters believed it would be business as usual, just another politician playing nice. They were incorrect. Tulsi wasn't there to grin and nod. She came to question the discourse, and things became awkward quickly. The program, which normally seems like a chaotic echo chamber of repetitive arguments, was now being analyzed with crisp, precise reasoning. Even Whoopi Goldberg, renowned for her cool and collected manner, appeared obviously concerned as Tulsi talked. You could see her attempting to preserve her calm, but straining to match Tulsi's lucidity.
It is concerning to be in a private meeting with the president with only top people, and then a day later, see it on the pages of the New York Times. Clearly, I assume you trust your fellow cabinet members and so on implicitly, but everyone has to speak to a staff about what happened and what needs to happen. And I wonder how rattling that is. People underneath you appear to be leaking even top secret information that you could go to jail for leaking. How has that affected you? And you're dealing with it with a firm hand, but how has it affected you?
The talk immediately strayed off script. Whoopi did her best to bring things back to normal, but it was evident she had lost control. Tulsi wasn't giving sound bites. She was cutting through the fluff and revealing major faults in the media and political scene. That's when Joy, Bahar, got in. If you've ever seen The View, you know Joy has a sharp tongue and a stare that can quiet a room. So, when Tulsi chastised both political parties, especially the Democrats, Joy pounced. She ignored Tulsi's views and branded her as naive. But Tulsi didn't flinch. She reacted with scathing criticism of how the Democratic Party had abandoned meaningful change.
That example of that New York Times article, there were a number of things in that article that were completely inaccurate, which speaks to, again, and there is an investigation that's underway to try to figure out the source of this leak or sources of this leak around that specific incident. It makes things much harder in constantly questioning and looking over your shoulder. Okay, who's in the room? I have to be careful about everything that I say because ultimately we're in a situation where these things being leaked, either by people who are just trying to show a reporter that they're important or chasing clout of some sort, or the most dangerous of which is those who are trying to ultimately undermine the president.
Joy's response says it all. She wasn't ready for someone to push back and win. She seemed shocked, anticipating a yelling fight against Trump, and instead receiving a serious chat about solutions. For years, the hosts of The View have enjoyed the luxury of their ideological echo chamber, until Tulsi broke that illusion. Whoopi presumably felt she could bring the debate back to safe zone, where everyone agreed on the regular script. But Tulsi wasn't having it. She took charge, changing a pleasant talk into a stern reality check. When Whoopi questioned her devotion to the Democratic Party, Tulsi reacted with uncompromising clarity. The astonished look on Whoopi's face says everything.
Asked about Tulsi Gabbard. And the journalist said, there are foreign allies who are very nervous about sharing intelligence with her. And he said, oh, I don't know. I'm surprised to hear it. I heard that for the first time the other day. I mean, I think she's a great American. I think she's got tremendous common sense. This woman with tremendous common sense, Tulsi Gabbard, went to Syria, met with Assad, legitimized him as a member of Congress, then came back here and advocated.
Then came Joy again, offering one more jab, mocking Tulsi for quitting the Democratic Party. So you switched sides? Let's see how long it lasts, she quipped. But Tulsi didn't blink. She reacted with coolness and accuracy, patiently dissecting Joy's weak case like a seasoned lawyer. Joy attempted to rebound with her typical snark, but it fell flat. Tulsi brought out the show's lack of honest conversation and exposed Joy's double standards. It wasn't loud, but it was strong. Even Sunny Hostin, who joined the discourse with difficult questions on foreign policy, couldn't deliver a single blow. You could practically see her thinking, I've got her now, only to find Tulsi was 5 moves ahead.
Tulsi Gabbard co-hosted The View, and things got spicy between Gabbard and some of the ladies on the show, especially when it came to some of the rumors that have been flying around in regard to Tulsi Gabbard and her relationship with Russia. So let's take a look at what she's upset about. So what she was referring to there were previous statements that were made by a few of the women on The View. So for instance, when the show discussed Gabbard and Clinton's comments about her recently, Sunny Hostin said, quote, I've often said that Tulsi is sort of a Trojan horse in this. She's polling at only 1.2%, yet she's still in the race. And then,
really fast on that. I don't. What does she mean by Trojan horse?
I don't know. I really don't know. But look,
like there are multiple people who are only at 1%.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say like 5 people are at like 1%.
Tulsi didn't back down when Sunny challenged her. Instead, she responded with calm, well-researched answers that dismantled every argument. Her clarity left Sunny visibly stunned, while Whoopi, Joy, and Sunny's usual tactics, sarcasm, pressure, and deflection, completely failed. Tulsi's presence exposed how surface-level the show's debates usually are.
Colin, this whole thing has been nothing but good for Tulsi, and I thought she handled herself very well there.
Well, she did. She's very clearly comfortable under pressure. Maybe that has to do with her military experience, but I think these are kind of silly accusations, and I'm a little bit ashamed that the Democratic Party establishment hasn't backed her up more. She's a Russian plant because she goes on Fox News. That would make me one too. Yeah. We're probably all here. We're all Russian plants by that
Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg and Beto O'Rourke, all the Amy Klobuchar, these people who went on Fox. Andrew Yang. It's insane. I thought she handled herself very well. I mean, Joy Behar is. I'm not even.
Yeah, no comment about Joy Behar.
Yeah, but
she's got her
seriously,
shtick.
she has her shtick. But throwing these insults and these accusations out at the Democratic presidential candidate like this with no basis is ridiculous. Yeah. And thank God Tulsi has this guy.
And when Sunny tried, one last foreign policy question, Tulsi responded sharply and confidently, flipping the mood of the room. The hosts looked unsettled. Whoopi rattled, Joy off mark, and Sunny shaken. This wasn't just another guest moment, it was a wake-up call, with Tulsi delivering a masterclass in composure and control.